Hey guys, hope everyone is doing well. Day six. Day six. So, today's been interesting because they were meant to discharge me tomorrow, and I was doing fine. They were meant to discharge me tomorrow, and it was good. And I was like, yes, I can go back to life. I've been here for like 3 weeks, and it's been stuff. But this morning, the doctors came and told me the blood tests were not okay, which means that 5 weeks of antibiotics, 2 different types of antibiotics, didn't kill the bacteria. Apparently, it's a very stubborn bacteria. Apparently, I'm also the second person in the history of this unit of 40 years that have had it. Before me was one man, and I'm like the second person who has this thing, who's had this thing. And yeah, it's just been interesting. So basically, what they were saying before, because this conversation happened before, but then they kind of were like, well, we're not going to do anymore. So I was fine. But then it came back again. So basically what you have to do is like remove the tube that I have in the stomach that I use for dialysis, because that's the infected tube. And then put one here in the neck. Go back to dialysis at the hospital, because with the one in the stomach, I do it at home at my own time. But when you take it out, you can't put another one straight back in. Like, there has to be a healing period whilst you take it out here. It takes time to heal, so you can't just put another one straight in. Like, it has to heal. Then in the meantime, you put one here, like on your neck. That the one I had back in the day, if you know from my pictures in my life, you see it that it was here. And that's the one I'm going to do hospital dialysis again for 1 month. And then if everything goes well, then another procedure to take it out. And then afterwards, another procedure to put a new one back into the stomach. So it's like a total of 4 procedures plus recovery time. I never dealt with it the first time I had this conversation with the doctors, because I kind of go over it, because they didn't speak about it anymore. And then they also changed their mind. They were like, you know what, we're not going to do these operations. We're going to keep the tube in. But because of the results of this morning, then they're like, I'm sorry, Anna, we're going to have to do all these procedures. Because I'm like, why didn't you just take the tube out, give me a time to heal, and then when I'm healed, after a month or 15 days, whatever, come back to put it in? Because I really don't want to do the dialysis at the hospital. I hate it so much, and it's just not fun. So they were like, but you can't be without dialysis because you will die. So you have to do some sort of dialysis. You can't do the one in the stomach. So the only option is the one here, which you come and do at the hospital. And then I was just like, okay. So why am I doing this video? We were talking about the Chronicles, so this was happening today. And we're not supposed to confess negativity, but like, I think that's what God is using this season to bring out from me. I don't know. I think I'm used to being strong because my mom was always there. But since she's not there, I feel weak. I don't feel strong. I am not strong. And the amount of faith required for what I've been talking about for so long, which is supernatural healing, I just don't know if I have it in me. But I know that I have it in me. But it's like deep down. It's like deep down the inside. I don't know. I just don't want to go through the pain. It's just the pain of like operations and procedures and the recovery time is just awful. And I just like, I, sorry, there was too much noise. I just don't want to do this. But I spoke to my sister, and she was telling me that this is different. I think people understand the frustration of waiting for something and believing for something. And every time, or maybe people do understand, so every time you think something is about to happen, then you're thinking, oh, this is it, and it doesn't happen. And then you have to go again, and you go again, and you go again. If you're going again and again for a couple of times, it's fine. But when you go again and again and again and again for 12 years, okay, because this is how long I've been dealing with this nonsense, even the strongest person gets to a point where like their spirit is broken. And I feel like my spirit is broken and God is reviving it. But I'm so hurt that I'm like, I don't know, I can't do this, right? But we don't move by faith. Sorry, we don't move by sight. We move by faith. We don't move by our circumstances or our feeling. We move by the presence of God. I need all the faith that I can get. I need the strength to be like, do you know what? I'm not going to go through with this. God is going to make something happen. This is the season. But even if I have to go through the procedures, like my sister was saying to me, my sister Gabby, He will give me the grace to deal with it. Like, yes, I know how painful these procedures are, especially the recovery time, but I'm going to trust that God is going to give me the grace to deal with it and deal with all of this. It's not easy, guys. It's not. And the one thing that was my sister was challenging me with is to be joyful in the midst of pain. I don't know how to do that. And I'm now learning to do that for the first time. I'm somebody that if it's sad, it's sad. How can you be joyful when it's sad? I don't get it. I don't know how you do it. I don't understand that. But she explained it to me in this way, where it's like happiness is dependent on my circumstances, right? Like if things are going well, you're happy. If things are going bad, you're sad. But it's not like this when it comes to the joy of the Lord. The joy of the Lord means I've lost everybody. I've lost everything. But somehow there's a peace within me that is like everything is going to be fine. And it's not positive thinking, because I'm telling you, guys, people are committing suicide in this place. Positive thinking is not good enough when you're dealing with a chronic disease. When it's like, it's not good enough. It just isn't. You need a higher power, which is the power of God. And I'm going to learn to do that in this season, in these days that I'm still here. And I'm still going to be here. To rejoice in the midst of pain. I don't know how to do that. I'm learning. I normally just cry, angry, cry until I'm over it, until I can cry no more, until I can get angry no more, and then I get over it, and then I feel fine, But we got to do something different. It's got to be different. I cannot do the same thing expecting different results. So I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to rejoice in the midst of the pain. I'm going to rejoice in the midst of bad news. I'm going to rejoice in the midst of something you're thinking I'm going forward, and actually it feels like we're going backwards. And it's like, okay, I'm still here. I thought I'm going to be home by tomorrow. But no, I'm still going to be in this place. And one thing I've learned from people's stories as well is that whenever you think, I thought I was going to go home, but actually, this is happening, there's always a reason. Like at the end of the story, you're like, this is why God, and I know that's gonna happen. I know I'm gonna be like, this is why God made me stay an extra day. This is why God didn't make me come back home at this time. This is why it will make sense. Do you know what I mean? But and I know He will. I trust God. It's just that He's calling out bigger things in me. Like right now, I feel like Gideon. I feel like if you don't know who Gideon is, go to Judges in the Bible, the book of Judges, chapter 6. It's like I just feel like the least of my family. I just feel like I don't feel strong. I don't feel like a warrior. I don't feel like anything. I just wanna sleep and cry, and be angry, and then sleep again. Do you know what I mean? But that's just being passive. That's not reacting. That's not being a warrior, and that's definitely not the attitude of somebody who wants to receive what God has for her. It's hard for me. It's hard for me. But I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ. So guys, just to encourage everybody out there that like, sometimes things are very overwhelming. They're overwhelming. But rejoice. And it's not a joy that comes from within you, because it's not, you don't have it in you. Because I'm like, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. My sister was like, you're not supposed to have it in you. You're supposed to have it in Christ. And I was like, that's so true. I'm not supposed to have it in me. You don't have it in you. You're supposed to have it in Christ. And so I lean on Christ to be my source of strength, to be my source of joy, and to be my source of peace in this season. And my source of power in order to bring the change that I've been claiming and proclaiming everywhere. So yeah. Yeah, guys, be encouraged. Lean on God when you're overwhelmed. And don't be afraid to also open up to someone, because you don't know how God can use people to speak to us as well. I'm glad that when the doctors came, my sister was on the phone already with me. So it was good to have that moment with her. So yeah. Be blessed and have a nice evening.